Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Dr. Nisha and in today's video lecture we are going to study the deflected current. So ये जो है ना deflected current, this is given by or this theory or this particular part is taught by H.A. Robert. तो जो H.A. Robert का जो बुक है Principles by H.A. Robert, so ये philosophy का बुक है, उसमें ये चैप्टर है the deflected current. So what do you mean by deflected current? Deflected current means जो भी हम लोग कोई ट्रीटमेंट देते हैं या फिर जो भी कोई हम लोग मेडिसिन प्रिस्क्राइब करते हैं उसका जो एक्शन होता है उस पेशेंट के ऊपर, उस पर्टिकुलर चीज़ का, उस पर्टिकुलर ड्रग का जो भी कोई वाइटल एक्शन होता है वाइटल फोर्स के ऊपर. सो दैट वाइटल एक्शन, दैट डायनामिक एक्शन ऑन अ वाइटल फोर्स is like deflected, is reaching in a wrong way, or it is reaching towards the vital force or towards the particular vital plane, but it has some kinds of deflection going on there. Why there is deflection going on there? Because there is an obstruction. हमें पता है जब भी कोई रिफ्लेक्टेड रे जो रहता है ना वो रिफ्लेक्ट करता है इन अ सिंगुलर रे. ठीक है, जो सिंगुलर रे रहता है लाइक दिस इज अ स्ट्रेट लाइन, इसके बीच में अगर मैं ना कुछ रख दूंगी, कुछ ऑब्स्ट्रक्ट कर दूंगी, कुछ बैरियर बना दूंगी, देन इट विल बी लाइक डिफ्लेक्ट डाउनवर्ड्स, राइट? दिस रिफ्लेक्टेड रे और दिस रिफ्लेक्टेड thing of the medicine is getting deflect just because of some kind of obstruction. So that has been explained by H.A. Robert. So what H.A. Robert is explaining you about the obstacles to cure. So there are three obstacles to cure. First is patient side, then second is physician's side, and the third is remedial side. So firstly we are going to see the patient side, right? Now patient side. So firstly, pathological conditions of disease. What do you mean by this? Pathological conditions of a disease. ठीक है, so in the cancerous patients or in a deadliest diseases like TB, cancer, tumor or many more other diseases, ठीक है, मेटास्टेटिक डिसीजेस या फिर कोई भी ऐसी डेडली जो चीज़ रहती है लाइक किडनी फेलियर, हार्ट फेलियर, lung failure, septicemia. So in that condition, no, all the pathological conditions which we have to consider, मतलब अगर कैंसर है, अगर ट्यूमर है, so we have to consider that thing कि this is the limitation of homeopathy. So in that limitation, what are you going to give the medicine or which kind of treatment are you going to serve to the patient is palliative type of treatment. So whenever you are giving the treatment to such kind of pathological conditions, you are just going to give the palliative treatment, not the curative treatment, because there is an obstruction to that cure. There will be a obstruction of that cancerous cells, that tumor, that any kind of pathological conditions will be the obstruction from the patient's side. That is not the mistake of a patient, but it is the obstruction which has been created by their body and it is not letting the remedy to act upon them. ठीक है, so that will be considered as a obstruction itself. So any kind of pathological condition will be considered as the patient side obstacle. ठीक है. Now presence of mechanical obstructions in the body. What do you mean by mechanical obstruction in the body? Any kind of mechanical obstruction will be held by the physician's side or by the patient's side. That will be like foreign body. ठीक है, the foreign body will be the obstruction, right? While I was posted in a pediatric department, one case was there, and now also I am doing the pediatric. There was one case in that the patient, that small kid has put some pea, green pea in his nose. ठीक है, तो वो पता ही नहीं चला क्योंकि इतना सा छोटू सा था वो पी, और वो उसने ना नोज में डाल दिया और नोज के सेप्टम में अंदर जाके चिपक गया वो, और इट क्रिएटेड द नेजल डिस्चार्ज, कोरोसिव नेजल डिस्चार्ज. उसका वहाँ पे इन्फेक्शन हो गया, वहाँ पे इन्फ्लेमेशन हो गया, पूरा नेजल सिस्ट जैसा वो लगने लगा, ठीक है। हम लोगों ने बहुत सारे बार डायग्नोसिस नेजल सिस्ट, पॉलिप ऐसे कुछ करके किया, फिर सेप्टिसेमी सब टेस्ट किए उसके, लेकिन पता नहीं चला। लेकिन ईएनटी के डॉक्टर ने फिर उसके नोज में ऐसे कुछ एग्जामिन किया, आई डोंट नो व्हाट एग्जामिन दे हैव डन, बट उन्होंने जब एग्जामिन किया दैट टाइम दे फाउंड आउट द कुछ ऐसे नेक्रोज्ड हो गया था वो पी, तो वो मिला उनके उसके नोज में। उसके बाद में उसको जो भी कोई रिकरेंट इन्फेक्शन हो रहा था, नेजल इन्फेक्शन या फिर रिकरेंट कोराइजा, तो वो होना बंद हो गया, उसका वो नोज भी स्वेल हो गया था, दैट कम्स टू normal. So this was the mechanical obstruction created by the children itself. So this is again the obstacle by the patient side. Now psychic trauma and the emotional stress. As we know, we are taking too much of emotional stress, like tension has been created by ourselves only, then so much of overthinking, so much of the emotions which are very strong, like anger, like too much attached to a person, like grief. These are what the strongest emotions which are created by the patient's side. So this can also held as a, or this can also act as a obstacles to the cure, or obstacle to that particular remedy which is going to act on the patient, right? Over and necessary usage of a drug by the patient. Now if we are taking the painkillers, okay, today I am having a stomach ache, I took one painkiller. Tomorrow I am having some headache, I took a painkiller. Then I am having fever, I got some cold, cough, coryza, or any earache, body ache or something, weakness and something, I took the medicine again. So those medicines are creating the obstruction, ठीक है. If some patient has came by the fracture in the hand, ठीक है, तो उसके हैंड में जो फ्रैक्चर है ना, सो वी आर गिविंग द ट्रीटमेंट टू दैट पर्टिकुलर बोन, बट द ट्रीटमेंट नीड्स सम पर्टिकुलर टाइम टू एक्ट. लेट दैट रेमेडी टू एक्ट ऑन दैट थिंग. अगर कोई रेमेडी दी है हमने, सो लेट दैट रेमेडी टू बी एक्ट, नो. अगर उसके पहले ही हम लोग लाइक विल कंटिन्यू टेकिंग द पेन किलर्स, और वी आर कंटिन्यू टेकिंग द calcium ka supplements and all those supplements and all those things, that will be again calculated as a obstruction by the patient's side. We should stop that thing, then only we will get the proper cure in time, right? The problem of diet. Now diet ka problem is is abhi to sara ka sara hybrid things we are eating. We are consuming so much of chemical based or too much of pesticide wala वेजिटेबल्स, फिर जो भी कोई हमारा डाइट है, दैट इज मोर ओवर द जंक, मोर ओवर द ऑयली स्टफ, मोर ओवर प्रिजर्वेटिव्स आर पुट इन आवर डाइट. So that is what the mistake present in the diet. Then the timings of the diet is being jumbled, or is being completely damaged. We should eat at 8 o'clock in the morning, but we are eating at 12 o'clock, we are eating at 11:30, 11 o'clock. Not the specific persons, or not a particular persons I'm talking about. Even I am only having the poor dietary habits. So this is the most important problem from the patient side. This leads to the obstruction to the cure, or this leads to the damaged to the pathway of that particular remedy which is acting on a patient's body. Now lack of proper physical exercise. Nobody does the exercise properly. If someone is doing exercise, then they are doing the gymming, that is the more over exertion of our body. So that is only leading to the obstruction. Then we are doing the less exercise, that will be also leading to the obstruction. We are doing improper exercise, like mistakes, we are doing mistakes in the exercise. We are overstraining our body, over तकलीफ दे रहे हम खुद को ही. That will be again lead to the obstruction to the body, or obstruction by the patient side. So this was the patient side ke obstruction present. Okay, now we'll see the obstruction from the physician's side. So what is the physician side obstruction? Selecting a minimum dose alone is not sufficient. ठीक है, सिर्फ सिमिलिमम हम लोग फाइंड आउट करके छोड़ देंगे, मतलब मेडिसिन दे देंगे उसको, तो दैट विल बी नॉट एक्टिंग पर्टिकुलर, नॉट गोइंग टू एक्ट मोर ऑन द पेशेंट. जब भी हम लोग रेमेडी सिलेक्ट करते हैं, दैट टाइम वी आर टेकिंग केयर ऑफ दैट कि this potency of that selected remedy should be proper, should be ekdam accurate, so that that will act upon the patient. So that accuracy of the potency should be maintained always. Okay, firstly the simillimum, that remedy should be simillimum to the case. Then secondly, the potency should be proper. Then the repetition of the dose. Repetition, this is the most important thing we are neglecting. We don't repeat the medicine properly. We just give stat and just let that remedy to act upon. But that is not the thing. Every remedy has their duration of action. So upon or depending on that thing, depending on all the consequences, all the relationships of that particular remedy, we have to consider it, and then only we have to give to the patient, right? So this is what the obstruction from a physician's side. So try to avoid this small mistakes, so that it will not create any kind of obstruction in the cure. Okay. The physician himself may get carried away by the patient's narration. While case taking, we should be neutral. We should be not biased with any particular thing, or we should not be prejudiced. ठीक है, so we should only listen. ठीक है, अगर हमें patient कुछ बता रहा है, we are nowadays which students are getting passed out, newly practitioners we can say. So those are like moreover refreshed with their data of rubrics. Okay, so whatever the patient is telling you, we are tending to put in a rubric form, but that is the mistake, the most biggest mistake of the physician. Okay, we should not do that mistake ever again. Okay, so don't put the medicine or don't put the rubric into the medical form, or don't put the rubric into a sentence while patient is narrating you the symptom. Okay, now prescribing solely on the basis of a keynote symptom. We know all the remedies, we know all the things, so we are not particular putting in a rubric form or in a keynote form. We should not give the medicine in a keynote base. We should take out the complete totality, then only we should give the medicine. So this is the way, or this is the only way for selecting the remedy or selecting of the simillimum. Okay, so these are the obstacles from a physician's side. Now obstacle from the remedial side. Remedial side is lack of genuine medicine. Lack of genuine medicine. What do you mean by the lack of genuine medicine is, so while we are giving the medicine, or while we are prescribing the medicine, we are not dispensing the medicine. Some chemist is prescribing, or the pharmacist is prescribing. We are not the person who is prescribing the remedy. We are the person just giving the prescription. Obstacle from a remedial side. ठीक है, तो lack of a genuine medicine. What do you mean by lack of genuine medicine? Like we are not dispensing the medicine. Our work is just to prescribe the proper dose, proper medicine, proper repetition. ठीक है, so जो भी कोई dispensing का काम रहता है, that does by the pharmacist. ठीक है, तो जो फार्मासिस्ट है वो ठीक से वो पोटेंटाइज मेडिसिन दे रहा है, उस मेडिसिन का क्वालिटी अच्छा है, वो मेडिसिन प्योर है या नहीं, दैट ऑल द चेकलिस्ट शुड बी डन बाय द pharmacist, and that should be seen by the patient itself and the physician itself. Otherwise that will be considered as a obstruction from a remedial side, right? So genuine medicine dena is most important thing, as similar as the simillimum. ठीक है, पुअर ड्रग प्रूविंग. जब भी हम लोग ड्रग प्रूव करते हैं तो बहुत सारे लोग है ना, कुछ अलग सिम्टम्स बता देते, कुछ अलग सिम्टम्स बता देते. सो अगर प्रॉपर ड्रग प्रूविंग नहीं हुई, अगर हेल्दी पर्सन वो नहीं रहा प्रूवर, तो बहुत सारे चीज गलत जा सकती है, वो प्रूविंग फेल हो सकती है, वो रेमेडी प्रूव्ड फेल चली जाती है. सो दैट शुड बी कंसिडर्ड, दैट शुड बी प्रॉपरली कंसिडर्ड. कुछ रेमेडीज को तो प्रॉपरली, नोजोड्स को तो हम लोग प्रॉपरली ये नहीं कर सकते, प्रूव नहीं कर सकते. इसीलिए पॉइजनस मेडिसिन को, जो भी कोई स्नेक रेमेडीज है, उनको हम लोग ज़्यादा प्रूव नहीं कर सकते. सो ऐसे कुछ जो मेडिसिन रहती है ना, तो उसमें गलत प्रूविंग्स हो सकती है, गलत चीज़ें हो सकती है, गलत चीज़ें मिल सकती है. सो उसका ध्यान रखना चाहिए हमें. सो दैट ओनली द थिंग इट्स इम्पॉर्टेंट. ठीक है, सो these are the all obstructions. So ये obstruction था remedial side से. So these are all the obstructions which are present in the patient side, in the physician side, and the remedial side. Okay, so we are dealing with all these obstructions or all these obstacles that we have to treat upon or that we have to act upon. So this was everything told by H.A. Robert in his book, in his philosophy book. So this lecture is on H.A. Robert. I hope you understand this, and if do, then do like, comment and share. Also consider subscribing to my channel. Thank you.